All right. Hey, ladies, welcome to another Monday coffee chat. Today, we're going to be digging into the third week of our waiting and waiting series, focusing on water and the living water and different ways that we can interpret water, waiting, and waiting in scripture. So, the Bible verse for this week, let me pull, I had it pulled up and then I clicked on the wrong thing over here. Wrong thing. I'm gonna find it. Hold on just a second. But anyway, it's from Genesis and it is all about when Noah was in the ark and when there was the big flood that happened. So let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Let me just do this. Oh, here we go. All right. So let me share this is taking much longer than necessary. Okay, here we go. And then I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me, y'all. What is up with this coffee talk today? It's not quite going as planned. So I'm going to share, y'all. This is really kind of crazy, isn't it? All right, I was going to present this, but we might not be able to do that. Present, here we go. Y'all, it should not have taken this long. I am so sorry. So I'm going to present. This is what it should look like. So our scripture verse for the third Monday in February is the waters prevailed and increased greatly on the earth, and the ark floated on the face of the water. So the ark was floating on the top of the waters. And what we hear is that it rained for 40 days and it rained for 40 nights, right? That's what we learn. That's from a very, very young age that it rained for 40 days and rained for 40 nights. And so for a lot of us, it gets programmed in our head that the flood lasted for 40 days and for 40 nights. But that's really not true. That's not what happened. Well, the rain lasted for 4 days and 40 nights, but the effects of the flood were far more reaching than just those 40 days. So the point of this verse, bringing it to you guys today, or to you ladies today, is talking about waiting, waiting. We spent a lot of time focusing on waiting in the waters, but now we're switching to waiting. And that's really the only choice that Noah had. Noah and his family was put on this ark, following the Lord's commands with all these animals, and he had no choice but to wait, right? Much like Jonah in the belly of the whale. He had no choice but to wait and wait. So Noah and his family, we know for a fact that they waited on the ark for at least 40 days and 40 nights. But it was actually far more than that, what they waited. So, hold on, I got my wrong thing going here. Okay, so my goodness, I'm so sorry. My little girl just got out of the shower and she's screaming she needs a towel. This was just obviously not the right time to do this live. So just a little bit of grace for me. I'd appreciate it. So anyway, for 7 days, Noah gathered the animals. Okay. He gathered the animals and then it rains for 40 days. So we have 47 days already. Then scripture tells us that the water swelled around the earth until all of the mountains were covered and all of the land creatures and people had died. Okay, so imagine that much water. So you think Mount Everest, how tall Mount Everest is, and there's enough rain to cover the entire earth to top over Mount Everest, okay? So when the flood waters dissipated, that was 150 days. So 150 days on the ark, plus the 40, plus the 7 to get the animals on board. Then it says that God sent on the 7th month, 17th day, God sends a wind and stops the water and rain. The ark runs aground at Ararat. So that's another 150 days. It's the same. Well, it's the same as above. Okay. Then the waters keep receding and the mountaintops appear. So the wind is blowing, the waters are dissipating, and they start to be able to see the mountaintops. Okay. Then Noah sent out a raven and then a dove, and then they both returned to the ark unsuccessful, okay, at 40 days. So that puts us at 260 days, okay? Noah sends out a dove again and brings back the olive branch, adds on another 7 days. Then Noah sent out the dove and it did not return to the ark. That's another 7 days. Okay. So that's 274 days. Then Noah removed the ark's covering and saw dry ground, which is 309 days. And then on the second month, 27th day, the earth had dried out sufficiently, and Noah left the ark with all of the animals. So that's 364 days. So we're talking about 364 days that Noah is waiting on this ark. So essentially a whole year, Noah is on the ark with a whole bunch of stinky animals, including the mosquito, which I really don't understand why, and his family, waiting for a sign from the Lord, waiting for the Lord to tell him that it's safe. That couldn't have been extraordinarily fun or enjoyable. I'm sure they had moments. I'm sure they had laughable moments, but overall, I can imagine that enduring that would build character in someone, build character either way. So imagine yourself being on an ark for a year, okay? No showers, no bathrooms, no like kitchen to cook some food. The world that you knew before is getting eradicated by the water, and you really don't know what's coming on the other side. Imagine waiting in that. So we have a wonderful example in the Bible of someone who literally waited in the waters. We see Jonah too, like I said before, who waited in the waters. And what that ark did for Noah and his family and those animals was it saved them, right? Because Noah was a righteous man. Noah was building this big boat in the desert, and everybody thought he had lost his mind, but he followed the Lord's path. He followed the Lord's plan for him, and he ended up on this ark for a year while the rest of the world was eradicated because they had messed up so much. So whenever you feel like you're in these circumstances where you're waiting and waiting and waiting on the Lord, my strength will rise as I wait upon the Lord. That's coming to mind, that song. Just remember that Noah waited for a year, and God blessed him, and God showed him favor, and God showed his family favor. So when you're in these seasons of waiting, ask yourself, is it really a bad thing? Does the Lord have you in this period of waiting because he doesn't like you or he has plans to harm you? Or does God have you in this waiting to protect you from what's on the other side of not waiting, of being rash, of rushing? So that is my 2 cents for you on this crazy live. I appreciate your patience, and I look forward to seeing you on Wednesday as we take this scripture a little bit further. What I want you to do between now and then is I want you to focus in on where is the Lord calling you to wait. And with that, I want you to release the expectation and the demands put on the Lord of when. Have the Lord take you to wait, but don't ask him when it's going to be over, because it will be over in perfect time and in his perfect will. Okay? So focus on that. Where is the Lord calling you to wait? Just like Noah, just like Jonah. I'll see you soon.